position in the league and would soon win a record-breaking 18th title. But now they were due to play Crystal Palace in the FA Cup semi-final and appeared on for a league and cup double. Palace had been promoted the previous season under the management of Steve Coppell and was spearheaded by their super strikers, the conveniently rhyming Bright and Wright. There were only two small problems for Palace. First, one of those super strikers, Ian Wright, was injured. And second, when they last met, Liverpool had won 9-0.
Beardsley, Peter Beardsley, oh, he deserved that!
Liverpool getting knocked out of the cup by Palace was about as likely as Mike Tyson being knocked out by a total no-hoper.
He's knocked Mike Tyson down!
The 6 or 7 months after the 9-0 thrashing, we were at Villa Park. We've got these elite gentleman players from Anfield, footballing royalty. And then we've got a group of misfits from South London.
If I'd have been a pundit, I would turn around and said, you know what, it's got to be Liverpool for me. You know, I can't see them. Look at the ability to go through the team, come back to front. You know, they've got to win.
Even the wildest optimist Palace fan, I hope to lose 3-0 and come out of it with some credibility. Not even in my wildest dreams could I see Palace winning. You didn't even think about Wembley.
Palace were about to be slaughtered on the pitch, but off it, their proud fans were determined to make an impression. Proud fans like Steve.
The idea just sprung into my head. I don't know why, I don't know how. I said, that's it, we're getting a balloon.
Steve was keen to make a dramatic gesture to show what the club meant to him, so obviously he went out and spent an inordinate amount of money on balloons.
I ended up getting 3,000. I had 1,500 red, 1,500 blue. It cost me near on a month's wages. We were just giving handfuls to everyone. You could hear them going up, people blowing them up.
To this day, Steve's balloons are one of the defining images of the match for Palace fans.
Balloons started coming towards the pitch, and it was mental. You know, I got goosebumps now, again, thinking of it, because it's such a big day for us.
Steve had done it. He'd shown the world that Palace fans were the sort of blokes who weren't afraid to spend a month's wages on balloons.
I'm proud of it. I still am to this day, even though I'm 43.
Nobody knows to what degree the balloons unsettled the mighty Liverpool, but by half-time they were only 1-0 ahead, courtesy of an Ian Rush goal.
To come off the park at half-time, only 1-0 down was fantastic. You know, we'd won our match.
Coppell just said, you know, listen, they're Liverpool. They've got to keep playing the same way. They won't sit back. They'll come at us, and when they do, we can counter and get them.
So the plan was simple. Don't panic, and definitely don't go on long, pointless, mazy runs that leave you out of position. And that means you, John Pemberton.
I'm going down the stairs after half-time to start the second half, and Pemberton has gone on a run straight down the right wing, all the way down and crossed. It was 1-0 before I got back to my seat, which is brilliant. Steve Coppell says afterwards that he saw Pemberton herring down the line, he was really cross with him, because the last thing he said was, don't go on one of your stupid runs. And Pembo just went, well, what did he say? Go on a stupid run, was it? I can't, did he say don't or do? Oh well, I'm halfway through it now, I might as well carry on. And the release of that to scoring a goal was just brilliant.
Palace had scored a brilliantly scrappy goal and were level, but it was about to get even better for the Palace faithful. Palace were on their way to Wembley, but with just 8 minutes left, Liverpool forced their way back into the game. Liverpool were level, and just 2 minutes later it got even worse when John Pemberton clumsily brought down Steve Staunton inside the box.
We went ahead and think, okay, they've had the lead once in the game, you know, they've had their fun, we'll take over from here.
And it was just, you know, thought we've come so close, and here we are, look at that, we're going to go out now. it wasn't long to go, and I just remember preparing myself for what I was going to say to Pembo when we got inside that dressing room.
Well, you could say, nice job, Pembo. You've let us all down and you've ruined our season. But surprisingly, Palace weren't done, and they piled forward.
You'd have to be in a situation like that to know what it's like to live that moment where, you know, the dream's still alive.
After some stirring words from Steve Coppell, the melee continued.
It was just the thing that Coppell was just saying to us, if you really want it now, it's yours. You know, go and take it. Their shot, look at them. You know, they aren't as fit as you lot. You lot are fit. Really go and do it. Take it. You might get one chance like this in your career.
Then, 4 minutes into the second period of extra time, Palace won a corner.
And sort of sitting there, you know, nails bitten down to the quick. You're sitting on your hands and then they scored.
Alan Pardew, bang, put that in your pipe.
And Pardew reacted as he headed it in and just couldn't believe it.
By the time the fourth goal went in that one, you just barely had the energy to stand on your tiptoes.
I bought Alan Pardew for £7,500, and I got down to the pitch, and he ran the length of the pitch, and just pointed at me and said, "Best £7,500 you ever spent," he said to me.
Palace had scored 4 gloriously scruffy goals to see off the league champions and booked themselves a place in the FA Cup final.
I can remember a split second, just that moment, the explosion of joy. And it's like all the years of supporting the club was worth it just for that moment.
I got on the pitch for the final whistle. It was just mental. I can't describe it other than it was unbelievable.
The sheer just emotion that was probably the best day of my career.
As if that wasn't exciting enough, Palace went on to draw 3-3 with Manchester United in the final, and eventually lost the replay by a single goal that, legend has it, saved Alex Ferguson's job.